Right, okay. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Right. Are you able to see my screen, right, guys?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Done.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Right. So in the last class, we discussed about the SQL Server, and we also discussed about the application, and we also discussed about the three-tier architecture, how the data will comes to a database server, and we also discussed about the roles and responsibilities of a DBA, what a DBA will do on a regular basis in the project. Okay. We also discussed about the different types of environments, like we have production environment and non-production environment, pre-prod environment. So we also discussed about the different types of environments. And yeah, so like high availability introduction, like how the high availability will be. So how many types of high availabilities we have. So all these things we discussed in the previous sessions, guys. So now let's discuss about the SQL Server, like how it was started and all. We'll first discuss, guys. So now, as you know that SQL Server is a database software. Using this database software, we can store the data, we can process the data, and we can retrieve the data. Correct? We can store, process, and retrieve the data. So the common word that we have to concentrate as a DBA is data. To store the data, process the data, and retrieve the data. Data, data, data. So what is this data, guys? What is meant by data? What is data? Just guess it. What is data? You know the answer, right? What is data, guys? Normally, I'm asking. Forget
That's
about
one of
SQL.
the
Just ask.
Raw information.
I think data is
Sorry.
just raw information. For example, name, employee number, phone number, all these things are data.
Very good. Okay. So
Information.
okay. So information is different. Data is different. Okay. I'll tell you the difference between information and data. So the simple definition of data is raw facts and figures is called data. Raw facts and figures is called data. If you see here, okay, a raw data 10,000 Mahesh IT KR Puram ABC apartments. So this is just a raw data. So anyone is able to understand what exactly it is, guys? Maybe you can understand a name, but you don't know what is this 10,000. You don't know what is this IT. You don't know what is this Puram ABC apartments kind of address. Maybe you can guess like a kind of address. So if you see here, These are the raw facts and figures of an employee. Okay, these are the raw facts and figures of an employee. This is a raw data. This is a raw data. When you process the raw data, it will be converted into information. If you process the data, it will be an information. So data is raw facts and figures, guys. And when you process the same data, processing in the sense what? Processing can be adding some attributes also, means a meaningful data. We have to make it meaningful. So adding some attributes, adding some meaning to the data will be converted into the information. So raw facts and figures is called data. And when you add some meaning, some attributes to the data, it will be converted into information. So in this case, 10,000 Mahesh IT care for maybe apartments. This is just raw data. So when I add some attributes to this raw data, okay, it will be converted into information. See, I have added some attributes like employee ID, and employee name is equal to Mahesh, and the department he belongs to IT department, and address ABC apartments KRpuram, and salary 10,000. So the 10,000, what is that, guys? It's a salary. As I have added a meaning to the 10,000, added an attribute to the 10,000, so it was converted into a meaningful information. So raw facts and figures is called data. When you process the data, it will be converted into information. That is what SQL Server also will do. We are going to process the data. How we will process the data? By adding some attributes to the raw data, we are going to process the data. So SQL Server is a database software. I will add one more word called RDBMS software. What is that RDBMS software, guys? What is that RDBMS
For
software?
additional database.
Relational database management.
Okay, relational database management system. I will add this slowly. Okay. As of now, SQL Server is a database software which will be used to store the data, to process the data, and to retrieve the data. So this SQL Server was invented early 1980s, 1987, something like that. Earlier, before Microsoft, Sybase invented the SQL Server. Later in the 90s, Microsoft took this logic from the Sybase. From that point onwards, Microsoft is only taking care of the SQL Server. That's why this is called MS SQL DBA, Microsoft SQL Server DBA. But this logic was first invented by Sybase. Sybase is also one database software company. Now also Sybase databases are there. So earlier it was invented by Sybase. Later, okay, Microsoft took this logic from the Sybase, and then Microsoft invented its own features and all in the existing product. So it became Microsoft SQL Server DBA. So this is how Microsoft got this, okay, logic from Sybase, guys. So we are using, okay, hardly maybe databases came into the picture maybe 1960s, 70s, something like that. But before databases, where we used to store the data, guys? Where we used to store the data before the databases?
Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets, very good. Okay, spreadsheets kind of thing we used to store the data. Before spreadsheets also, if there is no computer, you
Tablets.
used to store on papers, right? Papers, cloths. Like we used to, if you go back to our older days, like earlier 1970s, 19th, 18th century, 17th century, we used to store the data, and if you go, okay, 16th century or like the stone age and all, if you go, so before papers we used to store the data on the rocks. You can see right now also a lot of information will be there on the rocks, right? So before that also, like mostly they started storing the data on the rock. So this is how it was changed. Okay, stone age, and then leaves, right? Leaves also there, right? Leaves, and then we have this papers. Papers came into the picture, and then we have this spreadsheets and notebooks kind of thing. Okay, spreadsheets and flat files. Flat files is also, earlier we used to use flat files and spread, before spreadsheets we used to use flat files, and then spreadsheets, and then databases. Spreadsheets, after that Excel sheets, and then databases. This is how the era is there, guys. This is how the data it is. This is how the transformation is there in storing the data. So we are changing the medium of storing the data, because earlier, if you remember, we used to generate very less data. Okay, Excel sheet is also a very good database actually. Excel sheet, by using the Excel sheet, I can store the data, I can process the data, I can retrieve the data, I can do everything with the Excel sheet. That is also a good database. I can say it's a tool, okay? But why we don't use Excel sheet as a backend for any application?
Because they are not relational. Like we cannot relate one database to another.
Very good. Yes. Okay.
Retrieval is
Because
difficulty.
Good.
Because of storage limit.
Very good. Very good, guys.
scalability.
Okay. These are all correct, because of the limit, because of the compatibility, because of the storage, because of the, okay, data processing, okay, because of the relational database model. So we cannot use Excel sheet as a backend, but by using this Excel sheet also we can store, process, and retrieve the data. We can generate beautiful reports using the Excel data. So all these things we can do. But what happened is, like, generally 1990s, 2000, we used it to generate very less data. Okay, so if you remember that the first phone, if you remember the first phone, the mobile phone, you used to, like, it comes with a maybe 64 KB of storage, just 64 KB of storage, the first mobile phone. Then it was 128 KB, kilobytes, just kilobytes. Then 512 KB. Then 1 MB phone came. Then 2 MB, 4 MB, 8 MB, 16 MB. Then we have this 512 MB phones. Then 1 GB phones. Then 8 GB phones came into the market. Then 16 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB. Nowadays, everyone is using minimum to minimum 128 GB of phones. On an average, 64 GB to 128 GB of phones we are using now. In future, don't know what will be the minimum storage, because that much of data we are generating. As a DBA, first you should know the importance of the data. So nowadays, everyone, everywhere you go, people are asking your mobile number, your details. Any mall you go, they will ask your mobile number for registration. Any medical shop you go, they will ask your mobile number. Any business related, okay, things you go, they will ask your mobile number. What they are doing, guys, with your mobile number, with your data? Now also, do you know that now also your mobile numbers, your personal data will be sold by other clients and all? You know that? Every day your personal data will be sold, guys, to the other clients and all. Every day, every minute, every second, across the globe, someone will sell your information to the clients. Data is very big business nowadays. Data is wealth. Data is wealth. As a DBA, you should know the importance of this data. Data is wealth, guys. Nowadays, if you have data, you can generate more business. They will send you some promotional messages, they will send you some offers. Not only that, if they have your mobile number, if you go to saloon shop also, that guy will take your mobile number. He is going to sell it to some hair products related companies and some spammers, scammers, right? So what will happen, guys? What will happen? Because of that, not only see the personal information is one thing, but sometimes we use it to exposed, we are unknowingly exposed to the scams and all. They are somehow they are getting the data and they are calling, they are like giving some offers and all. Unknowingly we are into their uh, net and all. Then what happened? Knowingly or unknowingly we are losing lot of money. So don't share the personal details. In case if anyone is asking, simply reject them. They don't have any right to stop their service if you don't provide your mobile numbers. You can tell them no problem, you can use your outlet number. They will have their own outlet, they will have default number. In case if the system is asking the mobile number, they will have their own outlet number. They will enter that. Don't share the personal details. It's not only related to the business. Again, you will be under monitoring, you will be under scam. Maybe some scammer will call you and they might tell you like different offers and all. So knowingly or unknowingly, you are going to lose the money. So as a DBA, you should know the importance of the data, guys. As a DBA, you should know the importance of the data. Every record is very important. Every record will generate the business. Every record will generate the business. Okay, so because of the high data, huge data into the market nowadays, 64 GB, 128 GB phones are very common because we are generating a lot of data daily. Okay, even 120 GB phone also is not enough for us. Again, every 1 year we'll take the backup, or every 6 months we'll take the backup into the system, and again we'll clear the things in the phone, and again we'll start using it. That much of data we are generating. So the generation of data is like became huge, guys. So the processing also became like it's a kind of a challenging tasks. So with the Excel sheet and all, we cannot handle that much of data. And if you see, if we have 1 million records in the Excel sheet, it will be very difficult to load that Excel sheet. To load itself, it will take a lot of time, 30 minutes time. So because of that, Excel is not a perfect database to handle terabytes of data. To handle terabytes of data, as we are generating, as we have to deal with the terabytes of data on a regular basis for now. Maybe in future hexabytes of data, maybe in future petabytes of data. So the next level, after gigabytes, terabytes, after terabytes, hexabytes, petabytes. Okay, so as we have to handle petabytes of data, terabytes of data, so this Excel sheet and all is not compatible with the huge data. So that is the reason databases came into the picture, and with the databases you can process the terabytes of data, hexabytes of data also for now. So this is how the database industry like was evolved, guys. This is how the database industry was evolved. So in the database industry, like as I said, we have different types of vendors. We have Microsoft SQL Server, we have Oracle, we have MySQL, we have NoSQL, we have MongoDB, we have Sybase, we have PostgreSQL, we have we have CockroachDB, we have DB2. So different MongoDB we have, and we have like different database softwares are there in the market. And SQL Server, like the widely used by database product, is like for now it's a SQL Server from Microsoft, guys. Okay, SQL Server in the sense it's a Microsoft only, Microsoft SQL Server, guys. So this is how. So if you come back to this concept, so data is nothing but a raw facts and figures, and if you add some attributes to the raw facts and figures, so it will become a meaningful, okay, information. So that is called processing. If you process the data by adding some attributes, okay, it will be converted into information, guys. So using this SQL Server software, what we can do, we can process the data. So if you see here, okay, like 1 minute. So now if you see here, guys, if you see here, you can see on the screen 51, 77, 58, 82, 64, 70. Some numbers you can see on the screen. So do you understand anything, guys, by just looking at these numbers? What are these numbers, guys? Any idea?
Raw data,
Sorry?
no meaningful data.
Hmm. So by just looking at these numbers, you don't understand anything, correct? So
Yeah.
simply they are looking like some numbers. We don't know what is this number 51, 77, 58, 82, 64, 70. Okay. So this is just raw data. What I did, guys, I just added some contribute. I just added a context to this data for the raw data. What I did, I just added a context. What is the context? These are the test scores achieved by the students. The context is these are the test scores achieved by the students. Now, what are these numbers, guys? These are all the marks achieved by the students. Correct? So, just processing the raw data was processing and it was converted into information. So, now as you know that these are all the marks achieved by some students, now immediately you will get a lot of information, you are going to get it, lot of processing you are going to do in your mind. Okay, these are all the marks, right? Okay, who got highest marks? 82. Nice. Who got lowest marks? 51. What is the average marks? Something like 67. So how many people are below average? How many people are above average? See how much data we are generating. Highest, lowest, average, below average, above average. So that is the power of processing, guys. Okay, using this processing, okay, using the SQL server, we can process the data. So this is how the data and the information will be, guys. This is how the data and information will be. So generally, in every database software, the data will be stored in the form of tables. In every database software, the data will be stored in the form of tables. Tables means, what is meant by table? Table means not 2 1 ja 2, 2 2 ja 4 table. Okay. Table means what?
Collection of
Collection
rows
of.
and data,
Collection
rows
of
and
Very
data.
good.
columns.
Combination of rows
Okay.
and column.
In every database software, the data will be stored in the form of tables. Okay. Table is a collection of related data entries. Table is a collection of related data entries, or there is another definition also. Table is a collection of rows and columns. Sorry. Table is a collection of rows and columns, guys. Table is a collection of rows and columns. If you go back to this, we have one table. Yeah. So what is a table? The data in an RDBMS, forget about the RDBMS for now, I'll explain, is stored in database objects. Okay, database objects. The data in the database will be stored as a database objects. Object means one object, that's it. Which are called as tables. This table is basically a collection of related data entries and it consists of numerous columns and rows. Remember, a table is the most common and simplest form of data storage in the relational database. And if you can see here, this is the customer, this is the example for the customer table. And if you see here, we have some rows. So what is meant by row, guys? What is a row? The horizontal entity in the table is called one row or a record. Okay, the horizontal entity in the table is called a row or a record. This is one record. So total, how many records are there in this table, guys? How many records are there in this table?
7.
Total
Eight.
seven
7.
records. You can see seven records. Seven records. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't calculate this one. Okay, these are the headers, column names. The horizontal entities in the table is called a row. The vertical entity is called
Column.
Fields.
vertical entity in the table is called column or fields.
Column.
Okay, so how many columns are there in this table now?
5.
5 columns.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns are there. So in this table we have 7 records or rows and 5 columns or fields. Generally will represent records and columns, guys. Okay, we have 7 records in this table and we have 5 columns in this particular table, guys. So the data in the RDBMS will be stored in the form of tables. So if you go to any database software, not only MS SQL, most of the common database softwares, they will store their data in the form of tables only. Table is the best way of representation of the data, guys. Before table we have lot of models. We have bus model, we have that is called topology. We have tree model, network model, different models are there, but none of these models are suitable to retrieve the data properly and quickly. Only table model is the best way of representing any data, so that we can also retrieve the data quickly with the help of tabular model, guys, with the help of tabular model. So that is the reason, if you go to any database software, at the end of the day the data will be stored in the form of tables only. So in SQL Server also, the data will be stored in the form of SQL Server only. Even SQL Server related internal information also will be stored in the form of table only. So the common form of storing the data in any of the database softwares is tabular model. Okay, tabular model. So if you see here, let me clear the drawings. Okay. Yeah, you can see here what is a record. A record is also called as a row of data, is each individual entry that exists in a table. So if you see the record, guys, you will get a complete details of any data. 1 Ramesh 32 Ahmedabad 2000. Okay, 2000. So this is a complete information about one particular person. A record will have a complete information about that particular object, whereas column will have a specific information. Name means name only you can see. Age column means age only you can see. Address column means address only you can see. Salary column means salary only you can see, guys. Record will have complete information of the table of the particular object, whereas column will have a limited information of that particular object. Every table is broken up into smaller entities called fields, like columns. The fields in the customer table consists of ID, name, age, address and salary. A field is a column in a table that is designed to maintain specific information about every record in the table. About age is a specific information. Address is a specific information. Salary is a specific information. So using this you can able to store the specific information. So columns will always store the specific information, guys, whereas record will store the complete information. The record will store the complete information. So this is how it will be. Now you can see a record is a horizontal entity in a table, whereas a column is a vertical entity in a table, guys. This is what a column. A column is a vertical entity in a table that contains all information associated with a specific field in a table. For example, a column in the customers table is address, which represents the location description and would be shown as below. So this is a one column called address column, guys. Now tell me, for example, I want to track the data in the form of table, guys. Now tell me, for students table, generally what and all columns you will track it, guys. Tell me, for students table, what and all columns you will track.
Number.
Serial number.
Student ID.
Serial
Roll
number,
number.
okay, very good. Number or ID, roll number, anything, yeah. Next,
Student name.
First name,
Name.
name, very
last
good.
name, and last
Name,
name.
name, very good. Next, first name, okay, very good. Next,
Marks, percentage or average.
Last name.
marks,
Mobile number.
percentage, very good. Average, okay, mobile number, very good. Next,
Address.
Address.
address, very good.
Gender,
Sorry,
Gender.
gender,
gender, okay, very good. Next,
age,
age, very good. DOB, very good. Next,
Class.
what else? Class, okay. Marks. Next,
Parent name.
sorry,
Parent name.
parents' names, okay. Yeah, mother name, father name, okay. Mother, father. Next,
Fees.
their emergency contact number, okay. Emergency contact number. Next,
date of
Email ID.
joining,
sorry,
date of joining,
DOJ, okay. Date of joining, very good.
Date of birth.
Date of,
Birth. Oh.
date of, what is that?
Date of birth.
Date of birth, okay. I have added that date of birth, yeah.
Mail
Blood
ID.
group.
Mail ID, okay. Very good. Next. So very important column people are missing.
And sir, student last name.
Last name,
Department.
okay. First
Standard.
name, last name, I have added.
Standard.
department,
Standard. Class, section, okay, section.
Course.
Department, okay. Course, okay. Next. What else?
Class.
Class, I have added, yeah.
Fees.
That is very important column, right? It is very, very important. Right. So if you see here like that, we can track lot of fields. If you go to marks table, generally marks, how can I represent in a single column? It is not possible. So again, marks means again there should be a separate table, right? In the marks, again each subject wise, what and all columns are there. Subject wise, I should be able to track it. Average marks, so I can create a separate table for marks. Fees is also I can create a separate table. I can create, depends on the installments. Okay, so first installment, second installment, third installment, like that. How many installments are there? I can able to create. So what is the advance payment? What is the like for books and all? How much it will be for uniform and all? How much it will be? So I can break down and I can create a separate table for fees also. So what is the challenge if you keep on adding the data? What is the challenge here? The table size is increasing. First of all, the table size is increasing. So what is the problem if the table size is increasing? The first challenge is processing. If we have smaller tables, the tables will be processed fast. So, and one more challenge is security. Everyone should be able to see all the data. If you don't maintain properly, fees can vary from student to student. So fees, what the management will do, they just want to separate it from the existing table. So if the table is big, one issue is processing, second issue is security. So earlier we used to store the data. There are two models, DBMS, Database Management System, and RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So earlier, without there, if there is, I mean to say, before RDBMS, earlier we used to store everything in a single data. Okay, so what happened is like there is a lot of challenges with the security, lot of challenges with the processing and all. So when you are trying to read the data from the table means the whole data will be loaded into the memory, which is RAM. So every time for reading one value, two values also, if the whole big table is loading into the memory is not a good option, right? So what we can do, what best we can do, so earlier before RDBMS, people are used to store the data in the form of tables only. But as I said, in the form of a single table we used to store. Later, father of RDBMS, who is that? Any idea? Father of RDBMS. Father of RDBMS, guys. Professor E.F. Cod. Okay, Professor E.F. Cod. Later, what happened? Professor E.F. Cod. Okay, he just designed. Okay, this RDBMS model. So whatever data you are storing in the form of tables is excellent, but we'll do one thing. We'll do a small changes to this. We'll store the data in the form of small tables. Okay, so personal details will comes under one table, fees marks will comes under another table. Okay, and general details will comes under another table. So that what will happen is I can, my table sizes is also small, and even the security marks I can give access to the parents, or like whoever who is the responsible person. Fees I can give only access to the administrative staff, they have to follow up with the fees and all. So now the same table is divided into three smaller tables, and there will be a relation between each table. So that is why this is called a relational database management system. So using one common key, of course everyone knows, right? You have attended a lot of board exams since your matriculation, since your 10th class. Okay, lot of 7th class, like you might have seen, they will give you one hall ticket number. Okay, you will just give your hall ticket number only on the particular booklet in the examination. Then most of the exams like graduation, post graduation, diploma, degree, whatever it is, you don't write your name on the booklet, you will simply write your hall ticket number. In the back end, that hall ticket number is associated with your personal details, right? So using a common column, okay, so here also what they will do, they will add student ID. Okay, student ID. Here also they will add student ID. Here also they will add student ID. So every time, okay, no need to mention the personal details, simply student ID. Again for student ID there will be a different table. So with student what is the ID and all. So simply by just a common column, by adding a common column we can create a relationship between the tables, so that safety will be there, security will be there, data processing will be good. So now if I want to load this table, I'll just load this table only. I don't want to load all 20 columns or 30 columns table in the memory. So processing will be good. If I want to load marks table, I will load only marks table. I will open only marks table so that it will be loaded into the memory RAM. So the processing will be good. It will be fast. So this model was introduced by Professor E.F. Cod. So that's why we'll call him as Father of RDBMS. Father of RDBMS is Professor E.F. God. He introduced the relational model between the tables so that the data will be stored in the form of small tables and there will be a common relationship. There will be a relationship between the tables using a common column, and so in this way we can speed up the processing of the data and we can even maintain the security of the data. So this is called RDBMS model, guys. So Microsoft SQL Server is an RDBMS database software. Yesterday we just discussed it's a database software, right? So now I am adding one more word called Microsoft SQL Server is an RDBMS database software. Using this software we can store the data, we can process the data, and we can able to retrieve the data, guys. Okay, any questions so far, please?
No.
Okay, fine. So let me open one document. Hmm. Right, okay. So let's start with the versions of a software, this database software. Any database software, not only any database software, any software that we are using generally will have versions, guys. Okay. Version is nothing but an updated software copy is called a version. What is meant by version, guys? Version. An updated software copy is called version. Okay, an updated software copy is called. Definitely the previous version, when compared to the previous version, the current version will have, it's a definitely an updated software, correct? Now you can see the live examples, right? We are using laptops, mobile phones. There we are dealing with the operating systems. So earlier, if you remember 10 years back, 15 years back, the versions that we used to use in the laptops like Windows Home, Windows Basic, Windows Vista, Windows Premium, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10 now, and Windows 11, the current version. How it was evolved, guys? Correct? So these are all the versions. And in the same way, if you go to mobile phones also, Android, okay, KitKat, Android Marshmallow. Okay, like that in the Android also, maybe you are like you are aware of this or you don't, I don't know, but generally if you go to mobile Android versions also, okay, if you see here, okay, let me try to open this Android versions. Yeah, the version names will be somewhat different. Okay, Cupcake is there. See, Android 1.0, Android 1.1, Android Cupcake, Android Donut, Android Eclairs, Android Froyo, Android Gingerbread, Android Honeycomb, Android Ice Cream Sandwich. So KitKat, Android Lollipop, Android Marshmallow, Android Not, Android Oreo Pie, Android 16. Now after that, till here, he used to use some chocolate names, biscuit names and all. Maybe his favorite foods are completed. So from here onwards, okay, let me go back to version history. Yeah. So from here onwards, okay, Android 6, 7, from here onwards, Android 10 onwards, maybe I don't know how many of you observed, but Android Oreo, Android, when you start your phone, generally you can see this. I mean to say, when you restart your phone, you can see this version and all. Android 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The current version is Android 16. So in the phones currently we are using Android 14, 15, 16. Okay, we are using different Android versions. So definitely when compared to Android 16, okay, Android 15 will have less features, less security. So they will improve the security, they will improve the features. You can see how the features are changing every day. Every day the features are changing. Okay, so definitely coming version of Android 17, definitely when compared to 16, there will be a different features will be there, or the existing features will be enhanced. The existing security will be enhanced. Okay, so these are all versions. How we have for every software version is common. Any software that you are using, if you go and check any software help, under help you can see the particular version, guys. So using that version, we can store the information like when it was released, what and all features are there in that version. So to represent that, we use it to use this version of particular copy, guys. So in the same way, SQL Server is also a software. SQL Server is also having multiple versions. When it was introduced, what kind of version it is, now what kind of version it is, you should know. So sometimes the interviews, the first question will be on what and all versions you worked so far, on what and all versions you worked so far. So like that they will ask. So we have different versions in the SQL Server. Okay, we have SQL Server 97. Okay, before SQL Server 97 also we have 91, 93 copies, but those are all not so famous. From 97 onwards, it was so famous. SQL Server 97. I'll tell you what are these numbers. Don't worry about it. Okay, these are all the numbers that represents the versions. Like how we have Android 10, 11 in the same way. So these are all the numbers that represents the versions, respective versions. We'll call it as a build number, but don't worry, separate discussion is there on that. Okay, so let's continue. uh, so SQL Server 2000, after 97, after 3 years they introduced one more version, SQL Server 2000. After 5 years of 2000, SQL Server 2005, I just marked it as star. Okay, so because this 2000 and 2005 shows a lot of impact on the Microsoft product. Till then, IBM is the leader of the database industry. Till then, IBM is the leader of the database industry. Sybase, DB2, these are all the leaders by that time, 1990s. But after taking this logic from Sybase, Microsoft introduced GUI. Microsoft is famous for GUI, right? It's just simplified all the things with the help of GUI. So Microsoft introduced GUI in the database industry. Till then, no one is using GUI model. If you want to handle the database, you should know the query, you should know the programming, then only you can handle the database. But Microsoft introduced this GUI. So GUI means graphical user interface. Right click, if you want to copy, right click copy, right click paste. That's what we are doing. But if there is no GUI, you have to write a query. You have to write a command to copy paste the components, copy paste the things and all. How difficult it is. How many queries you will remember. To create a new folder, right click new folder, you are simply creating. But to create the same new folder using command, you have to use some command mkdir or make directory. So GUI shows lot of impact. So Microsoft also introduced GUI in the database industry. So that point onwards, the SQL Server 2000, 2005 shows lot of impact on the database market itself. So almost majority of the market was occupied by Microsoft because of these two versions, 2000 and 2005. Majority of the market in the database industry was occupied by Microsoft because of these two versions, as it was very first to introduce GUI in the database industry, guys. So SQL Server 2000, then 2005, then after 3 years they released 2008, then 2008 R2. Shanmugh, do we remember all? Yes, you need to remember all these versions. You don't know what you will do, you will by heart or you will practice. So because the first interview question will be after your introduction on what and all versions you worked so far. So what versions you will tell? Okay, so this is very, very important question. So we have 2000, 2005, 8, 8R2, 12, 14, 16, 2017, 2019, 2020, 22. So 2008 means it was released in the year of 2008. Okay, 2008 R2, same 2008 only. 2012 means it was released in the year of 2012. Then after 2 years, 2014 it was released. Then with the help of the year in which year they are releasing now, they are releasing with the help of years, these versions are tagged, guys. So in which year they are releasing that particular product, using that year, they are tagging the version. So what is the latest version? Can anyone tell me? The latest version of SQL Server?
25.
Yes. Okay, we have SQL Server 2025. Okay, also introduced in the market. So the CTP copy is released. Okay, 17.0. I will also show you 2025, guys, how to install 2025 and all. It was not yet released completely into the market, but a test copy is released. We'll practice with the test copy also. So these are all some common versions. In the next class, I'll ask you, there will be a quiz on these versions. You should be able to ready, make a, like, take a snap of this, save it. So then, okay, you can practice it. So in the next class, I'll definitely create a quiz, okay, conduct one quiz on these versions especially. So we have all these versions. So Shanmugh, currently what and all versions people are using? There are some organizations, like if the organization is big, if you are supporting lot of applications, generally people will use mixed versions. Okay, I'll tell you why they will use mixed version. As SQL 2025 came into the market, don't think all the other versions they are going to uninstall and they will immediately convert it to 2025. That will be happen, but not immediately, slowly. Slowly they will migrate to 2025. It's not like suddenly, okay, yesterday 2025 released, right? Okay, tomorrow, chalo, all 100 servers will convert into 2025, will upgrade into 2025. Sorry. So nothing like that. Nothing like that, because lot of challenges will be there. So application compatibility is the first priority. So if your application is not compatible with the 2025, we cannot migrate to 2025, correct? So even though there is a new version, if application itself is not supporting to 2025, how it can connect to the database? Then there is no use of 2025, right? Using 2025, right? Right? So that is how it will be. So don't think that if any new version came to the market means people will uninstall the old and they will migrate to new. Nothing like that. Based on their compatibility of the applications also, they will use the previous versions also. We are handling a very big environment. Around 7,500 plus servers we are handling. Around 7,500 plus servers we are handling. But don't tell this number in the interviews. They won't believe you. Hardly they will expect 100, 200, 300, below 1,000 servers they will expect. If you tell 1,000 servers also, how come it will be 1,000 servers? What and all applications? Lot of follow-up questions you will get it. So in general, you can tell how many servers you are handling means in general you can tell 200 to 600, any number you can tell. Okay, if you tell 1,000, 2,000, interviewers itself will directly tell you, no, 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 I don't believe, how come you are handling 2,000 servers? So like that we are handling 7,500 servers, SQL servers we are handling. We have all the versions, even though we have 2025, but still we are using 2000, which was released 25 years back. We have few servers with SQL 2000. We have few servers with SQL Server 2005. We have few servers with SQL 2008. Few servers 2008 R2. Few servers we have 2012. Few servers 2014. Few 2016. And 2017, 2019, 2022, 2025 we have, sorry, not 2025, we haven't yet installed because it's not completely released. So we have all the versions, we are still using all these versions in our project because we are supporting multiple clients, we are supporting multiple applications. One application can be compatible with 2000 only. Shanmukh, why they are still using 2000? Because there are some internal applications. As I said, there are different types of applications, critical applications, non-critical applications. Some applications will generate revenue, some applications will not generate any revenue. So spending again on the applications that are not generating revenue is waste of money. Just for the agreement, they might, okay, maintain the database. They might maintain the application just for the agreement. Some applications I am saying. So in that scenario, again, if you want to migrate to 2022, you have to pay more. Your application is not generating revenue. If your application is not generating revenue, how come you will be migrated to the latest version? What benefit you will get it? And it's not like 1000, 2000, 100, like lakhs of money you have to invest on operating system, on database. So why still people are using 2000 Shanmukh? Because of these challenges. If their application is not generating any revenue, so they are not interested to upgrade their environment infrastructure. They are still okay because chalta. Application is running, users are connecting, chalta. It's just going. So this is how people are still using old versions. Okay, so if they are asking like on what and all versions you worked so far, you can tell any number from range you can tell. You cannot tell directly 2017. Okay, no organization will use a particular fixed version. They will use different versions across the project. So SQL Server 2000, 2005, 8, 8R, 212, 14, 16, 17, 19, 22. These are all the versions of SQL Server which was released in the respective years, guys. Any questions so far, please?
Sir, SQL Server 2017 will be platform independent, right, sir? Like,
Yeah, I'll tell you that one. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Are we good, guys?
Yes,
Are we going
so
too fast?
what type of differences will be there from one server to other server, like options or storage or what? There
Yeah, I'll tell you. There are different features like introduced, and different features are deprecated when compared to the each version. So that and all will be discussed. That doesn't mean every version will compare. Okay, we'll simply compare the latest 1 or 2 versions. Like in the 2025, what and all features was introduced. Like that, we'll simply compare 1, 2 versions. Okay,
okay.
so no one will ask you, tell me the difference between SQL Server 2000 and 2025. No one will ask you. They might ask you like this. Okay, tell 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Yeah, okay. Uh, any other questions, guys? Any other questions you have?
But suppose that any organization use for 2012 version. So after
2012, I'm
that,
not getting, sorry.
hello, about
Yeah, I'm not getting your question. 2012?
using 2012 version. Okay. So all server are working in same version. Then that means overall 500 server. So it is possible all server migrate to new version.
That's what I just said. Generally, the straightforward answer is it is possible, but the thing is, no one will directly go and migrate to all instances to the latest version. As I said, the application versions generally, in what scenario they will upgrade, if their application is generating some revenue, okay, or if lot of users are there, if it is a critical kind of application, generally they are going to, okay, upgrade their existing systems, upgrade their existing softwares. If your application is not generating any revenue, there is no meaning of upgrading, or there is no meaning of spending lot of money on the applications. Okay, so whether we can upgrade or not, the answer is yes, we can upgrade, but we don't upgrade because of all these challenges. One challenge is revenue. Second challenge is if your application is old application, and if you are asking your application to connect to the latest database, to connect to the 2025 database, there can be a challenges in terms of connectivity also, because very old application may not be compatible with the very new database software. Are you getting the point now? So it
Yes.
depends upon the compatibility also of the application. It depends upon the revenue, how it is performing, how much revenue we are getting. Is it okay to upgrade my systems? Okay, at the end of the day, businessman will calculate profit and loss. So
Okay.
if you are not getting any benefits,
Hmm.
what is the meaning of spending lot of money in upgrading the products?
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so because of these reasons, people are still going to use or using mixed versions in their projects. One is main reason is application compatibility. Second reason is if the application is not so critical or it's a non-critical application, it's a small application. Generally, until the application is up and running, they don't mind to upgrade, or they don't upgrade the existing environment to the new environment, guys. Okay, so these are all the common reasons generally. So it is very common in your project also. You might see some servers with the 2012. You might see some servers with the 2014. For example, in your project, if 200 servers are there, 20-30 servers with 2012, 20-30 servers with 2014, 40-50 servers with 2016, 20 servers with 2017, 30 servers with 2019, maybe 50 servers with the 2022. So like this mixed versions you can see in your project. That is in everyone's project, in every project. So this is how the versions will be. So mixed versions will be there. So if anyone is asking on what versions you worked so far, you can tell like a range. I worked from 2012 to 2022, 2008 to 2022, 2005 to 2022. Always add latest version. Okay, always add latest version. Don't skip the latest version, because 2022 was released in the year of 2022, almost 3 years completed. So generally, if any new version comes, people won't directly upgrade or immediately upgrade to the new version. They will wait for 6 months to one year, because there might be lot of bugs and all in every software product. So after
Ability
one
also.
month, yeah, after 1 year, the bugs and all will be cleared. So people will slowly start migrating to the latest versions. So it's not like today, if it was released tomorrow, they will migrate. Nothing like that. We don't know how 2025 will perform to the with their application. For safety side, they will wait for 6 months to 1 year. Then they will slowly start installing 2025 in their environments. Okay, so this is how it will be, guys.
it is totally depend on our application, right?
Correct. Yes.
And one thing, and compared to old version, new version, all time uh, more secure and more expensive, like
Definitely,
that.
that is for sure. That is for sure. Definitely, a new version means new features will be introduced. When new features are introduced, definitely, if you want to use those new features, definitely you have to pay more. Okay, so
Okay.
it can be plus or minus, but generally, when compared to older versions, new version will be costly. And at least the enhancements, if there are no new features, also at least they will enhance the existing features in the latest version, guys.
So that's why reason some organization use old version maybe.
Correct. Yeah, that is the reason that we have already discussed it, right? Finance, like revenue related things and all.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys, on this? Are we good? Any questions so far, guys? Please, you people are not at all responding.
No, sir. No question.
No, sir.
Okay, so these are all the SQL Server versions. Okay, so now SQL Server is an application, correct? It's a database software. If I want to install any software, what I should have, guys? Tell me. If I want to install the database software or any software, forget about database software. If I want to install any software, what is the base?
Operating system.
Very good. Operating system I should have. Without operating system, can I install, guys, any software? Is it possible to install any software without operating system? Not at all possible, right? So where I can install this SQL Server? On which platform I can install? So if I want to install this SQL Server software, I should have one platform that is called operating system. That is called operating system. So on which operating system I can install the SQL Server? SQL Server is actually, as you know, that it's a Microsoft product. So Microsoft, what other products are there for Microsoft? The famous products are operating
Windows.
systems, right?
Windows.
Windows, very good. Windows. So Microsoft SQL Server softwares are very much comfortable with Windows operating system. Up to SQL Server 2016, remember, up to SQL Server 2016, these are all platform dependent softwares. Platform means operating system, on which platform you can install. 97, 2000, 2005, 2008, 8 R to 12, 14, 16. These are all platform dependent, means only on Windows operating system you can install these softwares, these SQL servers. Only on Windows operating system you can install these SQL Server softwares. From 2017 onwards, SQL Server became platform independent. Independent in the sense any platform it will work. Other than Windows, what other platforms we have, guys? Famous platforms, famous operating
Linux.
systems, Linux.
Linux.
Other than Windows, the next famous operating system is Linux. So up to 2016, you can install SQL Server only on Windows operating system. That is why it is, because it is depending on the platform. So that is why platform dependent. From 2017 onwards, it's a platform independent. There is no dependency on the platform. Even though it's Windows, even though it's Linux, you can still install. So from 2017 onwards, you can install SQL Server on Windows as well as Linux also. But even though they introduced 20, in the year of 2017, the platform independent, even though they introduced SQL Server on Linux in the year of 2017, means almost 8 years ago, still in the organizations people are not using SQL Server with Linux. Not even 1% also people are not using SQL Server with Linux. We don't know the reason, but still people are using SQL Server with Windows only. They are not using SQL Server with Linux, guys. Okay, so no one will ask you SQL Server with Linux questions and all. Okay, like whatever we are just following the SQL Server with Windows only. So generally, 99.99999% is very rarely somewhere you can see maybe they will ask you, do you know SQL with Linux? Okay, so that is how sometimes you might get. I mean, not sometimes. Okay, you will not get generally. As I said, not even out of 1 lakh SQL Server softwares, even one also they are not using with Linux. So this is how it will be. That means we have up to 2016, the SQL Servers will be platform dependent. Means only on Windows operating system you can install the SQL Server. From 2017 onwards, you can install SQL Server on Windows or Linux also. So, but still people are not using Windows SQL with Linux. They are using SQL with Windows only, guys. So now you know that we can install these SQL servers on Windows operating systems. There are two types of Windows operating systems. Can anyone tell me? Two types
Desktop
of Windows
operating
operating systems.
systems and server
Very
operating
good, very good,
systems.
Roja. Two types of operating systems. Okay, one is desktop operating system that we are using. What are the examples of desktop operating systems, guys? Tell me.
Windows 7, 8,
Windows 11.
Windows 7, 8,
8.1,
8.1, 10,
10,
11.
11.
So you can install SQL servers in all these operating systems. In your local laptop, maybe you are using 10 or 11. In your local laptop also, you can install the SQL server. Okay, directly. And we have another operating system called server operating system. So what is the difference between server operating system and desktop operating system? What is the difference between server
Server
and desktop operating
is
system?
more enterprise focused.
Very good.
Uh,
Desktop is for personal
feature,
usage.
features.
Okay, desktop is for personal usage, guys. Whereas server is for enterprise usage. Okay, enterprise companies. So desktop, the max capacity of RAM, how much RAM you saw till now in the desktops, guys? Tell me how much RAM of servers you saw till now in the
32
desktop
GB.
operating systems. Sorry,
32 GB.
32 GB. Very good. Max to max 32 GB you saw, right? 32 GB, 64 GB also not yet came into the market. Max to max your personal laptops, max to max capacity is 32 GB, 1 terabyte of storage. Because for personal usage, 32 GB is very high for personal usage. For business usage, 32 GB is very low. Because as I said, every time 24 by 7 we have to process the data. So 32 GB is just a peanut in the organization, guys, in the servers. On an average, it will start from 32 GB RAM machines, 64 GB, 128 GB RAM machines will be there, 256 GB RAM machines will be there, 512 GB RAM machines will be there. Because as it has to process terabytes of data in the fraction of seconds or minutes, so this 16 GB, 32 GB are not enough. So server operating systems are more compatible with the desktop operating systems in the organization. Server operating systems are meant for personal usage, desktop operating systems are meant for business usage. But both are look like the same only. Okay, if you know how to handle Windows 10 or 11, you can easily handle all Windows Server versions. Don't think there will be a a different kind of interface will be there. The interface and all will be almost same. How desktop you are handling in the same way you can handle server operating system also. But in terms of resources, it will support lot of RAM, more CPU. Hardly in our personal laptops you can see 8 core CPU. Correct, 8 core CPU is very big one for us. for personal uses. But in the organization, 8 core is basic. 8 core will use 16 core CPUs will use 32 core CPUs will use 64 core CPU will use 128 core CPUs will use. If you are increasing your cores, the performance also will be increased. Otherwise, with 8 cores, to copy one file, 1 terabyte of file, it will take days. Imagine, I mean to say, not only copy process to write anything, but the same I can achieve in fraction of minutes using the resources, high resources like CPU, memory, and all. So, desktop operating systems are very suitable to install the SQL servers. So, in the organization, we'll use desktop operating sorry. Server operating systems are very suitable for the projects. So, that is the reason in the organizations will use server operating systems only to install the SQL servers. Is it clear, guys? So we'll install server operating systems, and then on top of server operating system, we'll install SQL Server in the organizations, guys. So all the Windows servers will use server operating systems only. So as it is also an operating system, Windows Server also will have different versions, right? Like how we have Windows 7, 8, 8.1, 10, 11. In the same way, Windows servers also we have different versions. How we will represent? Windows Server 2000, Windows Server 2003, Windows Server 2008, 8R2, 12, 14, 16, 19, 22. These are all Windows Server versions. Guys, don't get confused here. These are all SQL versions. It's a software. These are all Windows versions. It's an operating system. Okay, are we good, guys? Any
Yes, sir.
questions,
Yes.
doubts so far? Please open your mouth.
But in why
Yeah,
not
Abhishek.
use Linux operating system?
As I said, Linux is not so compatible with the existing database softwares, and mainly the database, like people are comfortable with SQL with Windows. Okay, if you want to use Linux, Linux engineers should be there. So all the DBAs have to learn Linux also. So I'm not saying because we cannot learn Linux, so they are using SQL with Windows. Nothing like that. There are a lot of reasons. One is lot of manpower, very less no resources are available who knows SQL with Linux. First thing. Second thing is not only from database side, their application also should be compatible with the SQL with Linux, right? So maybe from the application compatibility wise, and the Microsoft introduced just for just for the sake of, okay, name, okay, but it's not concentrating, it's not simplifying the things, okay, it's not simplifying the thing. So what will happen, you cannot migrate to Linux so easily. In case if you are facing any difficulties, challenges and all, it will be very difficult to fix it. Okay, so that is the reason, because of the lot of reasons, Linux SQL with Linux is not so famous, and it's almost a deprecated one. And in the future also, we are not sure until and unless Microsoft is concentrating on Linux. Okay, until and unless if Microsoft simplifies the things with the Linux, until then people will not go to SQL with Linux, Abhishek.
That means a major thing is resource not available for compatible resource for this.
Correct, correct. Yes. Questions? So tomorrow, I mean tomorrow in the sense today evening, the next class for us, tomorrow for US people. So I'll ask the SQL versions, I'll ask the Windows versions. Okay, what and all SQL versions are there, what and all Windows versions are there. So there will be a small quiz. Whatever we discussed so far, there will be a small quiz. So tomorrow will, I mean tomorrow, not tomorrow, in the next class, which will be today evening 7 p.m. IST for US people. Tomorrow morning 9:30 EST will be the next class. So in the next class, I am going to ask these versions, guys. As I said, you have to by heart the SQL versions, Windows versions, and all. So that is one thing. And the second important thing is this is the last demo class, third demo class. Okay, as I said, three demo classes. So this is the last demo class. So demo classes are completed. So the next class link will be different. The same link will not work. So to get the new link, you have to do one thing. You have to register the, okay, you have to register yourself in this link. I'm just posting one Google Docs link in the Zoom chat. You can see a Zoom link will be there. I mean, in the Zoom messages, you can see a Google Docs link. So, like this, you can see on your screen. You have to simply give your email ID, your name, phone number, email ID, location, and any suggestions, any type of suggestions you want to give. Like classes are going too fast, too basic, like that. If you want to give any suggestions, also you can just add suggestions. Not opening. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Publish, manage, editor. Anyone with the link? Mm, 1 minute, just 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Now we're able to access.
Okay, 1 minute. Responders. Anyone with the link? You are able to edit, guys? Now tell me once. Are you able to edit it?
Yes, sir.
No,
You are not able to edit.
no.
Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Now try it.
Yes, sir. I'm able to edit.
Yeah, now
Okay.
we're able to.
Yeah. So you have to fill these five details. So the new meeting link will be communicated, okay, in the WhatsApp. So you have to fill this registration form, and if you have any questions, doubts so far, you can just ask me, and you can even ping me in the WhatsApp, guys. So again, the next class will be 7 p.m. IST today. Okay, for US people tomorrow morning 9:30 EST. Please fill this form. This will help me to send the resources like notes, softwares and all. So please fill this form and please add your suggestions also. Okay, so that we can go ahead and we can complete the registration. Once registration is done, we are good to continue with the sessions. That's it. These three classes like are live. So again, class 4 will continue, guys. After this class, whatever classes are there, it will continue. Okay. So again, there will be no demo classes and all. The classes will continue. Like we just discussed Windows versions, right? So in the next class, we'll continue the sessions after Windows versions. What are the topics are there? Will continue. So this is how it will be. Any questions so far, guys?
Sir, batch number 59, right?
59, yeah.
Yeah, but in link it is showing 58.
It link, forget about it. On the batch 59, you can see, right?
No, it was
Yeah,
showing, but now it is correct.
now it
Refresh
is
it.
corrected. Yes.
People are why you people are
I think
changing?
someone
Okay,
has changed the data, so
1 minute, 1 minute, one
yeah.
minute. I don't know. Let me remove the access. Okay, let me remove the access to everyone. Just 1 minute, guys. You
It's
people are
automatically taken.
changing. No, people are changing headers also. Why you people are changing headers? Simply you have to fill the form. Why you are changing the name and all?
It's
Oh,
not
come on.
coming much, sir.
We are not
1
able to
minute.
write on the text one.
Okay,
We are
so
not able to
something
text.
happened then. Someone did something. 1 minute. Let me create a new form. This is not the correct one. I got one response. Okay, let me create one new form, guys. Just 1 minute. Please don't mind. And the forms.google.com. Okay, google.com. Sorry. Make a copy and batch 59 contact form. Okay, and go to Axis. Okay, let me change it to 59. The Axis, anyone with the link, then copy this link and paste it here. Uh, Now check it, guys. I just posted another link. This is the latest one. Just try accessing this link now.
It's showing the document is not published here.
It's not published.
Not published. Yeah. Okay.
From text.
Okay. Okay. Now just refresh it now. Now you're able to edit it.
No, sir.
Guys, you're not able to edit it. Just use the new link once.
It's working now.
Yeah. Please. Everyone is able to edit right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Please fill this form, guys. As I said, please complete the details so that I can send you the softwares. I can send you the um, this one notes and all. Okay, so updates as well. And once the form is submitted, okay, you can drop off for the session. Again, we have a next session, but again, please confirm me. Don't again confirm me before 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the next session. You have to confirm me within like after 2 to 3 hours, guys, so that the process will be completed and then you will get a new meeting link and all for the next class.
Can you please send it now? I joined just now.
Okay, okay, no problem. Let me paste it again in the chat. Yeah, Bhagya, can you see the link now? Guys, please fill the form. So I just posted the link in the Zoom chat. Just open the form and you can fill the form. Okay, so it is mandatory for the upcoming sessions and all, for communication and all. Please fill the form. And once form is filled, please submit it. I
It's
can see,
completed.
yeah, okay. I can see only 11 people as of now, 12 people completed, guys. Please complete it ASAP. 13, 14, 15. We have 9 more people. 16, 8 more. 17, 7 more. 8
So temporarily, right now, the service is not available because of there is an issue with.
Right, I can see 21 people responded so far. Please complete this, guys. And again, please confirm me as demo classes are completed. Please confirm me. Okay, so before 5 p.m. today, and so that we can complete the process, registration process, and we can continue the sessions, guys. You will get the new meeting link once your confirmation is done. You will get the new meeting link and all for the next classes. So 3 more people. Okay, 2 more. Okay, guys. So if you submitted, you can drop off, guys. No issues.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, bye, Abhishek. Thank you.
Today's class link available in YouTube, right?
This link is available. It's already live. You can go and check the live section in our
Okay.
residence
Okay, sure.
university. This is
Okay,
uploaded.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhagya.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Damni.
Thank you, sir.
Jarif, yeah, ready. Have you filled that form ready?
Yes, sir. Filled, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can drop off. Jarif.
Uh,
Hmm.